Most of you are killing your engines before you even pull out of the driveway, and the worst part, you think you're doing everything right. I've spent 19 years under the hood as a mechanic, and I've seen starters launch themselves in under 20,000 miles and bulletproof engines develop rod knock before 80,000. Why? Because of how they were started. Today, I'm breaking down the 13 worst car starting habits that turn a reliable daily driver into a scrap metal candidate. Stick around for the final tip. It's a secret about your ignition timing that could save you a $3,000 engine rebuild. Mistake 13. Starting with headlights, AC, and electronics on. You are essentially asking your car to run a marathon while holding its breath. Your battery has one primary job during a cold start, providing massive amperage to the starter motor to overcome the engine's static internal friction. When you leave the AC on max, the headlights on, and the seat heaters cranking, you're forcing that battery to split its energy. On a 30 degrees F morning, a lead-acid battery already loses about 35% of its cranking power. By adding those extra loads, the starter spins slower, the voltage drops, and your alternator has to flash at full field just to keep up the moment the engine fires. Expert insight: I once had a client who replaced 3 alternators in 2 years. The failed parts were fine, he was just leaving his 400-watt sound system and defrosters on every night. He was literally cooking the diodes. The habit: turn everything off before you kill the engine. Let the battery focus 100% of its punch on the crank. Mistake 12. Ignoring the glow plug light in diesels. If you drive a diesel and you're key flicking straight to the start position, you are effectively sandblasting your cylinders. Unlike gas engines that use a spark, diesels rely on compression ignition. In a cold block, the air simply isn't hot enough to ignite the fuel. Glow plugs are tiny heating elements that reach over 1,800 degrees F in seconds to prep the chamber. When you skip that wait to start light, you're spraying raw, cold diesel onto a cold piston. This leads to incomplete combustion, which causes massive carbon buildup on your injector tips and washes the vital oil film off your cylinder walls. Wait for the light or wait for the repair bill. Mistake 11. Revving the engine immediately after starting. This is the one that makes me want to close my shop and retire. When your engine is off, gravity wins, all your oil drains into the pan. At the moment of ignition, your bearings, cam lobes, and lifters are relying on a microscopic, boundary film of oil left over from the last time it ran. It takes roughly 3 to 5 seconds for the oil pump to prime the galleries and reach the top of the cylinder head. If you blip the throttle to clear it out, you are spinning metal components at 3,000 RPM with zero oil pressure. That zing you hear is the sound of your rod bearings scoring. Mistake 10. Starting without pressing the clutch. Even if your car is in neutral, you should start it with the clutch pedal on the floor. Why? Because when the clutch is engaged, pedal up, the starter has to spin the engine plus the input shaft of the transmission. In the winter, your gear oil is as thick as molasses. Forcing the starter to churn through that heavy, cold fluid is an unnecessary tax on your battery and starter brushes. By depressing the clutch, you're isolating the engine, making the job 50% easier for the starter motor. It's free insurance for your electrical system. Mistake 9. Not waiting for fuel pump to prime. Ever notice your car cranks for 4 or 5 seconds before firing? You're likely short-cycling the fuel pump. Modern EFI systems need to reach a specific fuel rail pressure, FRP, to atomize the fuel properly. When you turn your key to the on position or hit the start button without the brake, you'll hear a faint hum for 2 seconds. That's the pump priming the lines. If you skip this, the injectors dribble fuel instead of spraying a fine mist, leading to a hard start that beats up your starter motor and soot loads your spark plugs. Pause for 2 seconds, it's that simple. Mistake 8. Using the wrong key position too long. For those of you with physical keys, overcranking is a death sentence for the starter solenoid. Once the engine hits its low idle RPM, the flywheel is spinning much faster than the starter's Bendix gear. If you hold that key in the start position for even a second too long, you're backdriving the starter. This creates massive friction heat and can actually weld the solenoid contacts together. The moment you hear that vroom, let go. If it doesn't start in 5 seconds, stop, wait, and try again. Mistake 7. Starting with low battery voltage. A weak battery does more than just sound slow. When voltage drops, amperage must increase to provide the same power. P equals V times $1. This high amperage generates intense heat in your starter's internal wiring. Furthermore, modern ECUs are incredibly sensitive. If the voltage dips below 9.6 V during a crank, the computer can brown out, leading to ghost codes, erratic idling, or even permanent damage to the crankshaft position sensor. If your car sounds lazy in the morning, don't wait for it to die. Get it load tested today. Mistake 6. Pumping the gas pedal on modern fuel-injected cars. Stop, this isn't 1975. In a carbureted car, pumping the pedal actuated an accelerator pump that squirted raw gas into the intake. In a modern car, the throttle is electronic drive-by-wire. Pumping the pedal while cranking can actually trigger clear flood mode, where the computer cuts fuel entirely because it thinks the engine is flooded. At best, you're confusing the mass airflow sensor. At worst, you're causing a lean misfire that can damage your expensive catalytic converter. Keep your foot off the floor. Mistake 5. Trying to hotwire a modern car. I've seen DIYers try to bypass a faulty ignition switch by jumping wires under the dash. Do not do this. Modern cars use encrypted handshakes between the key, the immobilizer, and the ECU. Sending 12V down a 5V reference wire will fry your body control module (BCM) instantly. You'll turn a $200 ignition repair into a $3,000 totaled electrical nightmare. If your key isn't working, it's almost always a sensor or a chip communication issue, not a wiring trick problem. Mistake 4. Starting in gear, manual or auto. This is a massive safety risk and a mechanical nightmare. In a manual, if your neutral safety switch fails and you start in first gear, the car will lurch forward with the full torque of the starter motor. This shock load can chip teeth on the flywheel or even snap a motor mount. Always give the shifter a wiggle to confirm neutral and keep your foot on the brake. For automatics, ensuring you are firmly in park prevents the parking pawl from taking a beating if the car tries to roll during the vibration of startup. Mistake 2. Not letting the engine idle for a few seconds after start. You don't need a 10-minute warm-up, but you do need 30 seconds. Think of it as waking up the sensors. Your oxygen sensors need to reach about 600 degrees F to start reading correctly. If you start and immediately slam it into drive, the car is running in open-loop mode, meaning it's guessing the fuel mixture. This leads to carbon soot on your valves. Give it 30 seconds for the RPM to settle from the initial high idle, then drive away gently. Mistake 3. Jump starting incorrectly. If you hook up jumper cables and see a massive spark, you might have just cost yourself a new ECU. Never connect the last black negative cable to the dead battery's terminal. It should go to a ground on the engine block. Why? Because lead-acid batteries release hydrogen gas when they struggle. A spark at the terminal can cause a literal explosion. Also, never rev the donor car to the red line. The voltage spike can blow the voltage regulator in the dead car. Keep it at a steady 2000 RPM. Mistake 1. Starting immediately after shutting off. This is a phenomenon called heat soak. When you kill a hot engine, the coolant stops flowing and the temperature inside the cylinder head actually rises for a few minutes. If you shut it off and immediately crank it again, the starter has to fight against expanded pistons and potentially heat-thinned oil. Give the car at least 60 seconds to stabilize its internal pressures before you fire it back up. It's the easiest way to prevent hot start fatigue on your ignition system. Do you have a habit of revving your engine to warm it up? Be honest in the comments. I want to know how many of you were taught that by your grandfathers. If this helped you understand your car a bit better, hit that like button and subscribe. You need to see my next video on the 9 auto start-stop myths that are actually true. Click it right here and I'll see you there.